G'day people. I do a lot of stuff myself and pretty handy guy, and a lot of people reckon I should record this stuff, so I'm not qualified in a lot of things, but they call me Jack, even though my name's Kyle. Jack of all trades but master of none. I've got an NP300 Navara, and let's just say I love this thing, but there's just one thing that seems to let a lot of these new cars down, and that's the electronic side. Now, a little while ago we went forward driving, and the ABS sensor, I did a bit of a dodge fix, but it didn't last. Obviously it's dodge for a reason, but if you weren't mechanically minded enough to understand the electronic side of it, it puts a bit of a dampener on your whole trip. So imagine going to the Cape and you rip the ABS line out, then you're stuck in two-wheel drive, throws up a heap of codes, it won't go into four-wheel drive. That says that it's in four-wheel drive low. I've got a headlight system because the error, I've got a bulb blown, but it says that it's in four-wheel drive now, but it's not actually in four-wheel drive. It just flashes when you start to move, throws up your like stability control, traction control, ABS, it's just all on. Now that is why these cars, I reckon, like, they're four-wheel drive, they should be built that, yes, they should have an override. So imagine being up the Cape, smashing that, it's just a wire, like 100% is literally just a wire. Now if you didn't know this, you wouldn't have a clue. Somebody out there and about would probably know, but they'd probably be able to give you a hand to get it running. But if you didn't know, there should be an override, I reckon, on all these new cars. If it can drive, and I mean I've driven this back from the last trip with no ABS, no traction control, no vehicle dynamic, the car still drives fine, but none of that stuff works. But the car still selects two-wheel drive, but it will not let you select four-wheel drive. Now if you're in the middle of the Cape and this happened, you are up shit creek, all because of two wires. If they had an override that you could set it for X amount of time, or so many key turns or something like that, you know, like that you could override the system to get you out, you could still select it, because the four-wheel drive system's fine. It's just because of those two wires. Now, I'm not definitely not that electronically minded, but I reckon I could rig something up. I mean, I fixed that on the side of the road and got me home, but this is the reason for this video. I just thought, well, if people out there don't understand these new things and would really like to know that two wires can really stop your whole car, it can. I'm a truck driver, was a truck driver, and something as little as 25 cents can actually stop a whole truck. So here's the video of me replacing this, and hopefully I can help a lot of other people out. Like, I mean, if it's just that ABS wire, and I mean, these are the things you've got to check out. You've got to understand that electronics these days stop a lot of things from happening, and if you can read it and understand it, Hopefully you can fix it yourself. It doesn't cost you $500-600 in towing and all the rest of it. You might be able to do this on the side of the track. So here we go. I'll give you a rundown of what I'm doing. First off, you've got to take the wheel off. On an NP300 Navara, the wheel nuts are the same size as what takes the brakes off. But yes, this is loose because I've already taken them off. Take the main bracket off that holds the whole brake caliper to the disc. One at the top, one at the bottom. I don't normally use zip ties or anything, I use like quick clamps. So this is for demonstration. Quick clamp. So easy to use. Push one button here and it pulls back. Then you can push it forward. Grab it around there. And that will hold my brake caliper up. No tension on the brake wire. It's all good. This is the ABS line that's broken. Now, I've already replaced this, but I just tucked it in there. For people out there that don't know and I haven't seen them before, this is an ABS sensor. Held on by one little Allen key, pushes in, and it reads a cog on the back of your drive line with a heap of teeth in it. As it spins around, it's reading those little brakes. So as each teeth comes around, it's reading it. That's how it reads whether your wheel is slipping. If it's spinning too much and it's counting the teeth on the other side, the other one's not spinning, it knows that it needs to put the brake on this side to slow those teeth down, and it transfers through the drive line to try and put wheel power to the other wheel. Now, these clamps are shit, and I'll be the first to say that that's not a good fix, and it definitely isn't, but that's all I had at the time to get it going again. Now, I won't throw this away. I know the sensor's fine, plug's fine. I'll try and do a Dodge little repair. Well, better than Dodge. I'll solder it all up, make it new again, and that'll be a spare just to get me home. Not to leave in the car. Do not leave these in the car. If you tamper with these things, do not leave them in the car. Replace them when you get home. This is just to get you home. If you were to have an accident and you're fully insured and somebody sees this, you are now not insured. This is just to get you back to the track or back to a tow vehicle or to get you home safely and then get it fixed. But you will avoid warranty by playing with these things on your own. So now, I've already had this out. You unclip it from the top. Pull the old one out. I've already got the new one here, and I've already bolted it in. But for those who don't know, I'll just take you off here. If you see, just there, right there, is where it bolts in, and there's a little Allen key. It's just one bolt. The wire comes out the back, comes up the arm, and plugs into here. Back on here, so you can see me. Now, I've already got that plugged in. So this brake has to come off to get your caliper off. Your disc comes off so you can reach it. That's where you reach this. You don't want to bend it. You're going to do a pretty straight install. Once it's installed, it's hanging out the back. You chuck that back on. Release your clamp. Put your disc back on. Put your bolts back in. Them up. Fairly long bolts, as they should be. They should have a fair bit of leverage on them, so when they're done up they're fairly small. Give them a hip on. Get yourself a breaker bar. If you haven't got one, I suggest you try and do the best you can with a decent spanner. But you want to do them up. They don't really have a torque setting. You just do them up FT. Just for everybody out there, bit of voiceover, just make sure you do these bolts up tight, holding the caliper back on, do them up as tight as you can. No real torque setting for these things, but just do them up tight. On the back here, there's a little bit of aluminium or stainless or something that it's like a little bracket, which that comes up into here and it clips onto. But I've got a lift in it. I didn't want it to be hanging out here, because any stick that comes through here will break it. It'll just perish it. So what I did was come around the back and I zip tied it up around the back of this main arm. I'll bring the camera closer to me so you understand what I'm doing. And if you could just imagine, going through scrubland, even if you're not going through scrubland, if you pick up the random stick, and this wire is hanging out the back. Now it clips onto here. There's one little push stud right there. And this is just floating through the back here, you know, like there's one little push stud that I took off the back, but it's still all just hanging out here. Anything can come through here, a stick, and just punish it. Like, you can see all that wiring just hanging out the back there, you know, even if it was plugged in somewhere, it's just loose. So what I'm going to do is not put it on that. I'm going to run a few zip ties up the back here. I'm going to put it around the back of that arm. So when you see through here, this is all you're going to see down here. Once I zip tie it back, it's not going to see it. So, would see it? Now not. You drive forward pretty much 95% of the time off road. Anything you drive into is now going to bypass. This would be your personal bodyguard for this car, for this ABS wire. So now, sorry, I don't know what happened to the camera there, but it must have touched it when I moved it. So up the back here, I've got it all zip tied. 1, 2, 3, 4. I normally put one down the bottom, so the wire's got a little bit more support and it's not dragging on the drive shaft CV. Pulls it up away from the CV so it doesn't have any rubbing, because they are very, very prone to rubbing through if they are not putting things in the right place. When you're doing this, you would understand, if you were doing it, you'd see that the wire actually sits across the top of the CV. If you didn't do this, you would see how it would rub through. Up the top here is plugged in. I've got upper arms on this thing, so everything moves a little bit more, but this is all stationary. It just moves up and down. This doesn't need to have much movement at all, but up here does, because this needs to move up and down. So this is where you need to have a bit of movement. You need to have a bit of movement up in here. So I just zip tie this to the arm down the bottom, which gives it enough movement to still move up and down with the arm. There's a little bit of flex here, but there's a lot of movement here so that it can move up and down freely. And that's your ABS sensor wire installed. Then come back to the car. Plug your ABD in. If you don't have one, I got this one from J-Car. $100, pretty good if you ask me for $100. It does read different models. Go into your ABD settings, entering system. There is one Erase codes, yes. Erase done. Go back. No codes. Now, it's erased all the codes. Just check it again. Yep, it's definitely erased, so we can unplug that now. Now, if you see, half of my lights are gone. There's still a traction control. Now, the system needs to work out. That's my headlights still. Headlight error. Get rid of that. I need another headlight. The traction control light is still on, but you need to go for a drive. And as the car is rolling around, it does another calibration and it will clear itself. About 25, 30 kilometers an hour and it will clear itself. So you just chuck the wheel on and go for a drive and Bob's your uncle. Have a good one.